the studio. My name is Violet. I'm your host, and today I'm here with
Preston,
And Emily, the president of Green Team.
member of Green Team. I am.
Today we're going to be talking about climate change. So, would either of you like to explain what climate change is?
So climate change is basically, it's kind of a blanket over the atmosphere. So it's kind of a bunch of gases kind of get up, usually methane gases, and they get trapped up there, which results in not enough flow to be able to go through. So the sun rays, they go into the atmosphere, and then they can't go out because of methane gases, and they go bounce, 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 and it causes more heat to go into the earth. So that's basically what climate change is as a whole.
If you've ever been inside of a greenhouse, the climate that surrounds our planet essentially works the same way a greenhouse does, with gases like methane and carbon dioxide trapping the heat that the sun comes in. So it gets trapped inside and then can't escape, which heats up our planet. And the more that's released, the better it is at insulating our planet, which means the worse climate change is getting, the more we use those gases like carbon dioxide.
Yeah, and it should not be like a greenhouse in the atmosphere. Like it should be clear and things should be able to go in and out like the sun rays. But currently with what people are doing in society, it's causing it to be a lot worse.
Things like cars and factories can extinguish carbon dioxide at like tons of gases per day, which is only worsening the climate. And our planet was not designed to have these gases trapped inside our planet. But
Don't forget cow farts.
that too, methane. So, whatever.
So, my next question is, so how are we as like a school impacting climate change?
Well, specifically for Green Team, we're trying to do a lot more with trying to balance it out. Some people might have heard about Tree Plenish. We had Tree Plenish for the past 2 years, and we weren't able to do it this year. But Tree Plenish is to really offset the emissions that our school is giving, so like electricity or carbon emissions, which is the main one that we focused on. So that's the way that Green Team has been helping out, and we've been able to give out 400 free trees to the community, which has really helped offset the emissions that the school is giving. But I think it's a lot of just learning new things to do. Right now, schools produce a lot of waste. They produce a lot of emissions, which just, it doesn't help as much. But currently, people are kind of too stubborn to really change a lot. People are kind of stuck in their old ways where they think it's easier and want it to be, but it's just causing more harm.
Unfortunately, not the entire school is Green Team. So most of the kids here drive a car or a bus, which technically a bus emits more carbon dioxide, but it's every single car that gets kids here is releasing more and more carbon, and then the school running things over break or stuff like that is affecting our energy bill, which is also energy is created by releasing gas emissions in factories.
Yeah, so I like what Preston said about idling your cars. It's a big issue because there's a lot of enclosed cars in one big area, and that's a lot of carbon emissions coming out. So like parents picking you guys up, or you just waiting to get out of the parking lot, it's not very good for the environment. So Green Team's hopefully going to try to help you guys out. And also, it's going to save you guys gas money. Gas is like $4 right now. It's insane. So if you don't idle your car, then you're saving gas. And also, you know what? Saving the environment's pretty cool, guys.
Mostly the money, though.
Yeah.
Well, both, but I mean, saving the environment is saving you money. So, if you think about it.
They can, yeah.
Companies don't want to do it, though.
No, they don't.
Recycling's good,
It's
guys.
because releasing carbon emissions make them more money, so they don't have a reason to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, besides places like Tesla, which make electric-only cars.
Okay, well, we do not talk about Tesla.
Let's not give them. Anyways, so my other question is, what could we do to make our school more eco-friendly?
I think a large thing that at least Green Team's trying to help out is we're doing compost. A lot of people might have seen the yellow bins. We did a video about it a little bit ago. But that's a really big thing to help with our waste. When things that can be composted, like food, goes into the trash, it causes actually a lot of bad gases to go out. I can't remember the name of them right now, but pretty sure methane does come out of the foods when they're decomposing, when they're in those big trash areas. and just causes just global warming even to be worse, actually. So composting is a way for it to not release those gases and then go into something different. Like a lot of like Scooter Grove, who we're collaborating with, they do a lot of fertilizer that they put the compost in. So it's something that we're helping out with, but also just being mindful of closing like your windows, turning off your electronics, or unplugging things when you're not using them. So I think that's a big part of it.
On top of that, unplugging things will reduce electricity bill. So obviously relating back to saving money for like not idling your car, not turning things off. Shut up. Turning things off will save you more money in the long run, which means more money for Starbucks in the morning if you're like Violet.
Okay, gravity's better.
It is. Actually, vintage is better than
Gravity doesn't have
Really?
cake pops.
Huh?
Well,
Gravity has cake pops.
Do they really?
Yeah. Starbucks kind of sucks.
vintage has cake balls.
Hey, Jameson works
balls.
at... Whoa.
Whoa,
We're
we
on
can't-
air
I'm sorry,
right
we
now.
can't- we can't
you
be
can't
saying
say
that.
that. Hey, Jameson works at Starbucks. We should
I just don't like
endorse the
Starbucks
man.
as much because
No.
some of the things they stand for, but
Yeah.
I still go there.
And they don't help the environment. Well, they're trying to be better.
Technically,
But-
no company helps the environment
Huh?
besides
Well,
ones that are
besides
actively designated to
having-
help the
Yeah,
environment.
have you seen like refill stations? Those are my favorite. Like, stores where you can just go in and refill.
Costco! I love Costco. Costco, you can refill, and they use paper straws, which kind of suck, but it's not that bad.
I know neither of you two have had it, but if anybody watching has had Mr. Neil in their lifetime, you'll know that either, I think it's hydrogen powered cars produce less carbon emissions because they produce water
I know,
as
I've
their
heard of
off
those.
source, and they have a more powerful reaction than carbon. So technically, that's the future. Yeah, I know. Me.
It should be the future.
It is.
Because-
I'm pretty sure they have hydrogen powered buses on the campus of UW.
Yeah, I think they're trying to implement it more, but I think the hardest part about trying to like implement having like hydropower cars, like what you're saying, or moving to electric cars, just people are stubborn. They don't really want to listen. I mean, America is definitely the place of freedom, but unfortunately, at least for me personally, I feel like it makes a lot of people kind of more stuck in the ways that they want things to be, rather than trying to fix them. So people, they really want those big old diesel trucks, but unfortunately, those are really bad for the environment with how much emissions they give. So switching to hydro or electric is better, but it's hard to actually get people to listen or actually to implement it in a better way to actually make a difference.
The one utmost exception to that is that the production of lithium ion batteries is producing more carbon than just a normal engine would. So,
Yeah.
because you have to make a battery that's powerful enough to run a vehicle, which at the moment, besides like electric only cars, only carbon can do.
Yes. Yeah.
Nitrogen.
I have heard
hydrogen.
about, I definitely have heard about that. And I think that's the hard situation where people can't really win right now. Like people are just like engulfed in like worrying about the economy or politics or whatever. So it's making it really hard to actually implement things to help save the environment, because things that people are saying is like better for the environment, like using electric cars, actually aren't that much better for the environment. But we're at a point of where, I think like by 2050, like we can't reverse climate change and we can't reverse global warming. But I think the strong issue is that either we're not more technologically advanced right now, we're able to do things like not have as much lithium in batteries or figure out something else, I don't know. But also people, they just don't want to get rid of their coal or their fossil fuels, and those aren't helping. People are too worried about money right now instead of worrying about the actual future the whole world is going to have at the moment.
You have to do your research on what you're buying before you buy anything that could possibly have the opposite effect of what you want, like buying an electric car to stop climate change. Because unless you drive that car enough to actively negate what it took to create that car, kind of like eating celery, because it's a negative calorie snack. So your body, I believe, takes more calories to dissolve it than it actually needs.
Yeah, to like process it.
Yeah.
Celery is weird.
So unless you drive your car enough to do that, but with a car, then you gotta know what you're buying before you can just go out and buy an electric car.
I think that's also a thing is like when people are like they have all these things and it's like been this way for so long. People don't want to go back because they're like, oh, but it takes so much more effort to like recycle or to like do all these things, but it really doesn't.
No, it just takes like some, honestly, I feel like personally it just takes some common sense to figure out like what you should put in the recycling, what you should compost. If it's like a wrapper, you don't like put that in the recycling. You put things that like are paper, things that don't have any residue on them, cleaned out jars, bottles. Right now, actually, like companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, like you can recycle the whole bottle, like with the lid and everything, just put that in recycling. That is helping so much more than just putting it in the trash. If you just think for like 5 seconds, you can actually make more of a difference than just like, oh, there's a bin, I'm just gonna put my stuff in there.
A great example of that is actually Taco Time, because everything that Taco Time sells, their paper bags, their plastic lids, plastic straws, is all biodegradable. And I think they are standard as an industry that other fast food industries should like have to live by, considering they make plastic items that can dissolve in a landfill, which is entirely unheard of besides them, basically. So
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I'm glad about. Is like Taco Time, they've had that stand for a while, but fast food is extremely popular in the U.S. Like everyone eats fast food. If you're running late,
popular.
shoot, McDonald's, I want to get myself a Big Mac. But unfortunately, those companies, they don't really care about the environment like at all. They just care about making money.
Or you. They don't care about you either.
No, they don't. Do not watch like, oh shoot.
There's
like a documentary about a guy who ate.
There's a documentary
Yeah.
called like Double Gulp
Super
or
Size
something?
Me.
Super Size Me.
That's what
Yeah,
it's called,
That's
Super Size
right.
Me.
I watched that.
Yep.
That's the reason why you can't get supersized at McDonald's anymore, because of that documentary, because he only ate supersized for an entire month and it almost killed him.
Yeah. So, like Violet said, it's not healthy for you. But big companies like that, they just don't really think about like the long-lasting effect. Then just like right now, I need to make money instead of thinking like, oh, maybe we should start thinking about the future. So, but fast food companies, they produce a crap ton of waste.
Fast food is also super expensive. So,
It's so expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially compared to what it used to be, because it used to be, oh, it's fast food. You just spend not a lot of money and then you get your stuff and then you leave. Now it's like you got to spend like $20 on a meal for 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also a lot crappier and filled with a lot more plastic.
Exactly.
It doesn't even taste
Their
better.
McDonald's milkshakes have microplastics in them.
Yes.
That's not a
Don't-
theory.
don't
That's
microplastics.
just confirmed.
A lot of things actually have almost
That is
every
also true.
human body has microplastics.
They did. Oh, I don't know if I should say that.
Well, I know what you were gonna say, but they they did a study on. They were gonna do a study on if how many people had like what the body does with microplastics in it, but they couldn't because everyone already had microplastics in them.
They did a test with male genitalia, and 100% of the studies came back where men had microplastics in their parts. So
Whoa.
yeah, I'm being purposefully vague.
Yeah, and that actually could harm like future like life forms and pregnancy and fertility.
Men could be infertile
Yeah.
within 25 years
Which
if
is-
it continues at the rate that it is.
Which I think people don't realize about like climate change. They're like, oh, well, it hurts the planet, but it doesn't hurt us. Like, it does.
Yeah, it's
Also-
affecting us every single day.
If the planet's hurting, then so are we. Because regardless of how strong we think we are, how many bombs we can make, it does not matter. The planet will 100% of the time win. We've seen it with places like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which are now 2 of the most environmentally friendly places because of the nuclear bomb that dropped, because the radiation made plants more viable to live there. And then same thing with Chernobyl, because there's plants now sprouting up there. And it's like, if a city were to go dark and humans just disappeared, our cities would probably be entirely filled with plants and gone within less than 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real.
Real.
Okay. I think so. What?
Hey, you can make outtakes. I don't care. I think, right?
Outtakes. What do you mean?
Outtakes? You can like cut this, right?
Well, yeah, I was.
Well, it's a podcast. You don't cut a
Yeah, we
podcast.
don't really cut it, but
Uh-oh.
no, it's fine. We keep everything. That's why when I like, I was gonna say something and make it funny because you were just talking about everyone has to have their microphone right here, and then you automatically went. But
Mr. Hag will yell at us.
Anyways, back to the podcast. So,
But go into VidPro. Join VidPro 1 or Rylan's gonna beat you up.
so what is are there any policies that we as a school should push into movement? That would be better for our environment. I worded that really weirdly, but if you got what I mean.
Yeah. I think just waste management. I think so technology, I'm glad with how far it's progressing. Almost every classroom uses technology in some way. And for in English, we used to have to write everything down pen on paper. But now the era of technology, we can just use our computers. And that's what most teachers rely on, is just using computers. And I think that actually is really helpful with limiting waste. Because paper, it takes oh gosh, I can't remember how many trees to just do a thing of paper. But paper uses a crap ton of trees, which it's not as good. Hold your horses, dude. What?
Deforestation isn't really a problem.
It is a very big problem.
How so?
How so?
How so? Because every single tree that we cut down, we plant 2 extra.
How was it a big problem?
What?
Well, I think the main thing, Well, I think the main thing is that even though we're planting 2 units replacement, it's still not very good for the environment because we're still taking down trees. It's not helping the oxygen. There's also there's kind of a big thing modern things, modern movement of architecture and stuff where there's like using trees or plants and just taking them out, which isn't really helpful. But I think the big thing is just where they're tearing down those trees, especially the Amazon rainforest, which is a really popular place where they have a lot of tree farms. But it also is not good for the animals there. It takes them out of their homes. Sometimes they kill them. And it does result in animals becoming endangered. There's many instances of animals becoming endangered because of deforestation.
Dodo birds.
No.
Yes.
They ate
dodo. Them. Yeah. Well, we murdered them to extinction because they didn't have any natural predators.
Yeah.
Kind of like coecas, except we don't eat them.
I mean, I think that also they should stop putting down trees because they're pretty. The spot over by the spot over by Safeway, next to it where they are cutting all those trees down to put in a Chick-fil-A and a 7-Eleven.
Oh my God.
There's a Chick-fil-A in Covington. What do we need that for?
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A is also not the greatest brand either.
We're not getting too political right now.
But the trees were pretty and then they're gone now.
Oh no.
But I think just right now people are just doing making having temporary solutions to a problem that's not going to get fixed. If we keep just doing things that are temporary, it's not going to do anything. So that's why limiting waste out of school is a really big thing to me. Limiting how much our school's putting out, how much trash. Really thinking about composting and recycling and trash is being able to sort it. It does not take that much effort to be able to figure it out. And Green Team, we're making posters, we're giving you guys videos. You guys know how to find this information. And we've learned this since, elementary school about how to compost.
3 R's, man.
Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot them. I just remembered that there was 3 of them. So.
Do you remember those plays they would put on for us as an elementary school where they would talk about
I remember that.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, we have this in us, guys. We just have to actually do it.
Yeah, it's really not that hard to just put your things in the right bin.
Yeah.
They're all out there in the cafeteria. You can find them easily. They're all over the school.
Yeah, and they're bright yellow. You can't really miss them that much. And then, hold that thought, bro. And then
okay, bro. Whatever, man.
And then also a big thing is that around our school and also around Four Corners, there is a lot of trash. It's horrible. It's really gross too. If you're going to the school, where there's a big bronze bear statue, there's trash lined up across the sidewalks and stuff.
That's true. I've been there. I put a rock on its head one time. You were there.
Okay. Yep.
That's admitting to a crime, I think.
Yeah, don't drag me into this.
Hey, she's a witness, so if you arrest me, you arrest her.
You know what? Whatever. Anyways.
Okay. Let me carry on. Okay. So what Green Team's trying to do is that we're trying to have monthly cleanup events, so people can just come to Green Team, sign up for it, and then we'll meet outside near the flagpole. And just help us pick up trash. You guys can get volunteer hours for STEP or for leadership.
And graduation, which is STEP.
Yep, which is STEP.
I realized that. Leave me alone.
Or national or NHS. It's really helpful and it really helps the environment too. And also it makes our school look so much better. Because right now it looks pretty bad with all the trash that's around.
Community service looks really, really good on a resume.
It looks really good,
Just
especially
saying.
trash cleanup.
Yeah, and the green team. It's not like you have to pay money to get into it,
No.
and you literally just show up every Wednesday. Well, at Power Hour B, which is like what 7 days divided by 2, 1/14 of your week. Which
What room?
222
I don't remember what she said.
with Miss Asplund. So 222 with Miss Asplund.
Everybody loves her.
Yeah, everyone does love her, and I promise I try not to make it too boring.
She's pretty awkward sometimes, but it's okay. We make posters. It's fun.
It is fun making posters. We make posters. We have chit chats. Talk about climate change like we're doing right now.
We watch cool YouTube videos. I think we're having popcorn next week.
Mm-hmm. We're having a little popcorn viewing thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nope.
Of
Next
my
week.
video.
Yep. His
Tomorrow.
video. I'm in it.
She's in it.
It's pretty cool, man. So
Yo,
You guys have a website or something?
we don't have
we
a
have a
website.
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. Okay. I'll link that in the description then.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
It's my email. So
Just give me the
I think you also have an email for Green Team
We do have an email for Green Team, and we also have Instagram, which is
and a
at Tahoma
Google
Green
Classroom
at
right?
Tahoma Green Team on Instagram. Follow us.
and a Google Classroom. I don't remember the code
I
right
don't-
now, so
Okay, yeah, I don't
I'll
remember the
I'll
code.
tell it to her and then she'll put it on there.
Yeah.
Or actually, I can edit this if you want.
Maybe, but it'll
Okay.
all be in the description of the video, so go hit them up.
It'll